Well, I got one more story if you want to knock it out, and we'll call it a night.
We can do that, or the chat room has a topic that they want to discuss, and I'm okay with it if you want to.
Okay.
They want to talk about Glenn Tipton's Parkinson's.
All right.
Do you have any thoughts?
Well, I mean, the guy is getting up in his years, obviously.
Sure.
And he basically has made it clear that he is not retiring. Mm-hmm. He's just not touring.
Right.
And we just lost another musician to Parkinson's a week ago with Pat Torpey.
Yeah.
And that guy worked all the way up to the time he passed away, more or less.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say about Glenn. I mean, he was diagnosed with this 10 years ago.
Right.
And he's been, toughing it out ever since. But I guess it's got to the point to where the rigors of touring, he decided it's time that he can't do that. But again, just like Pat Torpey,
mm-hmm.
he's going to make, limited appearances.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what else can you say about it? The guy is pushing 70 years old.
Yeah.
He has had a stellar career.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's had a career that's spanned over 4 decades already.
Right.
What else can you say? It's like, I feel bad about it, but I don't know that there's any comment I can make about it.
They should cancel the tour, though.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do think. Without KK and Glenn? Come on. That's a Halford solo show.
I guess.
I mean, you got him and you got Ian Hill. Ian Hill, barely known. I know he's been there forever, but I mean, in reality, how many people are fucking talking about Ian Hill? Right? Not many. So
True.
It's a Halford solo show now.
Yeah, but is it about the band members anymore, or is it about the performance? I mean, as with the list that we covered tonight, and what we know about each one of those bands that we covered,
yeah,
most of those bands only have 1 or 2 original guys in them now.
I know, but there's certain, I don't know. This is my belief and my belief only.
Okay.
Certain bands, there are certain guys in every band. Let me go the other way. There are certain guys in every band that if they're not in the band, you should not be touring as the band.
Okay, so what were your thoughts on AC/DC with Axl Rose at the helm?
No, they should not have done it.
But they did.
I know they did.
And they sold huge shows.
I'm not arguing that point. I will argue that I purposely didn't go because I didn't want to see. That wasn't AC/DC. To me, that was not AC/DC. It was Axl Rose and Angus Young. It was not AC/DC.
Mm-hmm.
And in Judas Priest, to not have, half of their fame was that Teutonic, or not Teutonic Terror, the twin guitar
attack, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of KK and Glenn. I mean, that is the legacy of Judas Priest.
All right. Well, let me do a hypothetical.
Okay.
If Andy Sneap, is that who's playing?
Yeah, it's Andy and Richie Faulkner.
Okay. If Andy did not tour with them and say KK decided he'd come back and play alongside of Richie Faulkner,
mm-hmm.
would that be okay with you?
I would be all right with that, but it's still weak. But I would be more okay with that than without either of the guitar guys. I would, without either of the guitar guys in Judas Priest, it's not Judas Priest. It's just not. They were even in the several switches of singers, they've been the core. And now neither is there? I'm not saying it'll be bad shows. I'm sure it'll be great. Andy Sneap is obviously a solid guitar player, and Richie Faulkner has proven that he's a great player. But man, that just isn't Judas Priest. It's just not.
So if the publicist gave you 2 tickets to go, would you refuse to go?
I wouldn't go. I could go. I could. It's at the Cavelli Center, and I'll tell you, in this particular time, I do have a ticket offered to me. Our friend Joe Cleon offered me a ticket, and I'm not going to go because I don't want to. I have zero interest in seeing a Rob Halford solo show with fucking Richie Faulkner and Andy Steep. I don't have any interest at all in seeing that. None.
Okay.
It's a weird, I think you almost have to go, for me personally, you have to go band by band. But for me, those 2 guys cannot not be there. And if they're not there, then it's fraud to me. And as you're well aware, Judas Priest, one of my absolute, right behind Metallica and Pantera, is Judas Priest in my personal catalog.
Okay.
And I'm skipping.
All right. Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Hey guys, this is Lewis. I don't know what happened. I guess we got cut off. But
somehow we got cut off, Lewis.
What happened, dude?
That's all. Hey man, that's all right. Look, I just wanted to say that, and I'm not going to keep you on your last 10 minutes of your show. I just wanted to say that I agree with Chris on this. I mean, without Glenn Tipton, it's just not Judas Priest. It's not, because I mean, anyone who goes back to those albums, Stained Class, whatever. I mean, he was the guy. He was the main guy, and that was it. Hell and Kill.
Well, what I say, Lewis, is no L. Atkins, no Judas Priest. That's how I think about it.
Oh, Atkins, the drummer?
No, that's Dave Holland, but he should be there too.
Right. No Dave Holland, Judas Priest.
Atkins was the first drummer. Is that what you're talking about?
No, he was the first vocalist. He was before Halford.
Oh, was he? I thought that Atkins was the first drummer.
Mm-mm.
No, that's Dave Holland.
No, Dave Holland was not the first drummer. It was Atkins.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it
it
might
was,
not have been
man.
Dave Holland, but it certainly was not Al Atkins.
Okay. Hey, Hell and Kill, and go fuck yourselves and hand job.
There goes Lewis.
Wow.
Did you hear that, Chris? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
And give yourself a hand job.
All right. If you say so.
Lewis is a fan.
Yeah, well, good. I'm a fan of Lewis. I'm looking. The first drummer. I'm looking. There's no drummer for 69. I'm looking for 69 is when the band started. The first drummer listed is Alan Moore. Oh, no. John Ellis.
John Ellis?
Wow, there was like 5, 6. God, there was a bunch of drummers before Dave Holland. There's John Ellis, Alan Moore, Chris Congo Campbell, John Hinch, Simon Phillips. No shit. Les Binks, and then Dave Holland. It's a lot of drummers.
I say no Les Binks, no Judas Priest.
That's what I was thinking, too. Hasn't been the same since Les Binks left.
Right.
It really hasn't.
Yeah, he had that certain groove, that certain swing.
Yeah.
He had that identifiable drum beat. He hit that tom differently than everybody else.
Right, they called it the Binky swing.
Yeah, something about that. The way that he hit that snare,
mm-hmm.
He didn't hit it with the tip of the stick. He kind of grazed it.
Yeah.
And that gave him that certain Judas Priestness about his drumming.
They have not been the same since the Binky swing left.
Exactly.
Really haven't.
I know I identify that style and other hard rock and metal drummers as you got the Binky swing.
Yeah, that's right. Too funny.
All right, that's my thoughts on Judas Priest. I mean, I would go see them. I mean, it's sad that it's an end of an era. But we've been talking about this for 10 years. It's slowly winding down.
Yeah, although it's seeming to pick up steam now.
Yeah, lately it has.
Yeah. Who's next? Who do you think's next? Iron Maiden?
They seem relatively healthy.
Okay.
So I think they'll probably be okay for that for a few more years. AC/DC obviously done. Judas Priest pretty much out the door. Kiss.
Kiss is going to tour 50 years after all of the members are dead.
Yeah.
All right. Kiss or let's see, Metallica, Megadeth, or who's the third one?
Well,
or Iron Maiden.
The thing is, with Megadeth, you can't really put them in that category because Megadeth is really the Dave Mustaine show.
Yeah,
and he carried Megadeth even without Little Dave.
Right.
And
sure.
they've always had a revolving door of members.
True.
So that really doesn't count. And Metallica almost is in that ballpark. Because if it isn't for Hetfield and Ulrich, everybody else is a replacement player too.
Yeah, Hammett's been there pretty much Hammett's been there on every record. He's played on every album.
Okay, so if
he just wasn't there, he just wasn't there at the very beginning, but he played on every album.
Okay.
So, I would sort of say that he's, a core guy too. I mean, could they replace him? They could, but he's as much of that sound as anybody else. Yeah, so they're making a good point in the chat room. Scorpions might be next.
Could be. Because those guys are old as fuck.
Those guys
are in their mid-70s, almost 80.
Yeah, and it's time for them to start thinking about it.
I hate to say it, but one of my favorite bands in the classic rock vein, Chicago, they're basically on their last legs.
Yeah, but they'll replace out with that band, won't they?
Yeah, but there's some core members that can't be replaced, or I won't say they can't be. It's just It really is down to four of the main guys. Their singer quit, their second singer, their third singer quit, their drummer quit. Yeah. So they're just in replacement mode now.
Yeah, but they survived Cetera. They could survive.
True. But my point is that they had a core band for many, many, many years, even though a couple of the guys were replacements like Champlin.
Yeah.
And they replaced Danis Serafin with Tristan Bowden, but Tristan Bowden just quit. Jason Sheff, who replaced Cetera, he quit. They replaced him with a guy by the name of Jeff Coffey. He just recently quit.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think Chicago is like the next era of the Temptations. Chicago will continue on. Those songs are so timeless, and they survived the lone face they ever had, which was Cetera. He was the lone face of Chicago that left, and they survived that. So as long as they put good horn players in there and good percussionists, they can just keep going forever. I think.
Well, the core four that are still in the band, they're 70 years old.
Are they touring this year?
Yeah, they're touring this year. Yeah.
And you're going, of course.
You know what, dude? I literally have not gone to see them in close to 5 years.
Really?
Yep. That was a yearly thing for me. I would see them at least once a year.
Yeah.
But I've lost my interest in them because they're just a fragment of what they used to be.
Are they not as good, or are they just because
it's just rehashed stuff? I mean, they go out there, they're on the hit circuit, and they don't really do much anymore because some of the guys that kind of made that happen, they're no longer there anymore.
So really, they're just they're going through the motions of songs. They're not like doing the long extended jams or any of that stuff anymore.
Not anymore. No.
I wouldn't want to go see that.
That era's over.
Maybe you should switch to Average White Band.
Sure.
I mean, they seem to be touring.
Well, Chicago is touring. I just haven't gone.
Yeah, but their Average White Band would probably be a cheaper ticket.
That's true too.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody who's tuned in and been a part of the show tonight, everybody in the chat room and the callers and our good friend Bob Nobandian and all that fun stuff, and Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis is a big fan.
Yeah, he is.
But we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Saturday. We'll do this thing all over again. So I'm going to leave you with some... What should I leave them with?
Spawn.
You want some Spawn?
Yep.
All right. Pulling up the Spawn. And here it is. What do you want to play?
From the debut, let's go with Kick 'em When They're Down.
Kick 'em when they're up, kick 'em when they're down.
Yeah, not quite the same song.
Oh, there's another band right there with some key members gone, and they're touring.
Oh.
Eagles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is true. I wouldn't go see it.
Well,
would you go see that?
No.
I wouldn't go see it. Without Glenn Fry, I'm not going. I don't care if it is his kid.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's not. The Eagles without Don Felder and Glenn Fry, stop it. And I know Felder's not an original guy either, but just stop it. Felder wrote that fucking riff. Now you got some other Joe playing it. No. That's and Glenn Fry, I mean, he did most of the great vocals. The great leads.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the Eagles.
Well, it's another fragmented band.
That's the Uggles.
Yep.
Pass.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Saturday night. So this is Neeley, along with my very good friend
Chris Hagan.
And we're gone.
Bye, kids.